Hello there and welcome to the Empty Shell. You can call me Empty or whatever you want, I don't really care. Sometimes people call me Josh, sometimes people call me Tyler. I've gotten Brent, Brendan, I think I got a Trevor once. And I never correct people either. It's just fun to confuse others, especially in the workplace. If you've ever been somewhere where there's somebody that calls you Josh and another person that calls you Brendan, they don't know when they're talking to each other about you. Just brings some chaos that I enjoy. Before I go on, I'm going to say sorry about my voice. I'm a little sick right now. So I'll probably sound a little different in the future, and honestly, in a lot of these, I might sound different from episode to episode or minute to minute. I'm a person that doesn't really know my own voice, which may sound weird. There is just days where I open my mouth and I sound completely different to what I sounded the day before, and I don't know why that happens. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to start the show because I learned some information about myself that's potentially life-changing, and I haven't really been able to process this yet because I have a lot on my plate and I haven't been given the time to do that. Over the next week, though, I have a lot of free time, so I think I'm going to definitely try and give a lot of thought and direction towards this. But I learned that I am on the autism spectrum at level 1, also what they used to call Asperger's. And the reason I seeked this diagnosis was because a couple of years ago, one of my 2 children was actually diagnosed with autism. And just a few months ago, he randomly came up to me and asked me, "Daddy, do you have autism too?" And I told him, "I don't know, buddy. I'm really not sure, but I can figure it out for you. I can go to the doctors and I'll find out for you, buddy." So I did that, and over the course of the next few months, I had 3 different appointments. One was kind of just like an interview with one of the people there, where they were asking about me, my life experiences, just stuff like that. And I remember that was pretty uncomfortable, but I got through it. And then the second appointment, they had me go in for about 4 hours of testing. And that was a lot more than I was hoping to deal with. I was also uncomfortable. And the third appointment was actually talking to the doctor that diagnosed me. Honestly, I was kind of expecting the diagnosis. My family has told me a lot that my son reminds them of me from the same age, and that I do a lot of the same things he would do, like spinning around a lot, lining things up, being overly honest with people. And after the diagnosis, he gave me a couple pieces of paper and they sent me on my way out to the parking lot. I remember I had to walk out to my car. I think I got to go home for about 20 minutes before it was time to pick my son up from school. And I remember I didn't let him know right away because he wanted to play some game on my phone when I got to his school. He wanted to play Sonic Mania, I think it was. After I got home and I let my parents know, then I let him know about my diagnosis, and he was really excited. He was jumping up and down. And he said, "Daddy, you and I are the same." And I said, "Yeah, we are, buddy." And to be honest, at this point, I'm not really sure what to do from here. As I said before, I haven't been able to process too much of this. Because right after the appointment, I had to go and pick him up, and then I picked up my other kid from daycare soon after that. And that day I picked them up was the last day of school before winter break, and we went on vacation to see some family up in Oregon, and it's been about a week. I'm finally going to have some time to process this, and I think the next episode is just going to be about that. Any reflections I've been able to make, thoughts I have, whether or not I'm glad that I did this in the first place or what. Leading up to the diagnosis, I watched a lot of videos about other people who have gone through the same process, and I will say about half of the videos, people are saying, "Oh, I'm so glad that I did this. It helped out tremendously." And the other half, people are saying things just kind of fell apart afterwards because they felt like they understood why they weren't able to do things as well as others and kind of dwelled on it, and it ended up kind of breaking them for some time. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen for me. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping I can process events of my past in this new context, knowing that I have always had this, and this has always been a part of who I am, how I approach things, and maybe I can be nicer to myself, looking back on my past about ways I've handled things, and I'll have some context and clues about how to handle things better in the future. That's what I'm really hoping for. I'm also glad that I'll be able to provide my son with more support because he'll know that I've gone through some of the things that he's gonna go through and that he has gone through, and I think it's important to just have people in your life that you can talk to who have been through similar situations as you. So that's a plus too. Thanks for listening to me ramble. If you made it this far, I hope that I was cohesive in this, and yeah, thank you for entering the empty shell with me.